it's time for questions. But Coach, I'll turn it over to you and let you lead off with the injury update with any introductory comments.
Okay, thanks, Ross. Appreciate that. Sorry, everybody. I guess Ross sent me my link. I got an update to a 5.0 or something, but I'm not sure what that was all about. But anyway, just want to say good afternoon, everyone, and just really wanted to take a minute to address a couple things today, and certainly could have just put out a statement, but I really just felt like I wanted to express myself properly, and also there's a couple things to talk about. But first and foremost, I know that we are all hurting for the Floyd family and our country, and I can speak for our entire staff and our team in that regard for sure. We have all witnessed just disgusting acts of evil. That's really the only word I can appropriately use over the past recent week here and beyond. But to address it, for me to really be able to address it, everything for me goes back to my faith. That's where I draw my peace from. That's where I draw my hope from. That's where I draw my perspective from. And I'm glad I don't have social media, because my reaction would probably have been to jump on social media and probably say things I shouldn't say and regret. And I'm glad I don't have that. But what I know as I, approach everything from a perspective of faith is that where there are people, there's going to be hate, there's going to be racism and greed and jealousy and crime and so on, because we live in a sinful, fallen world. And we've had so much bad news. Everywhere you turn, there's bad news. But really today, I just wanted to take a moment and offer some good news. And for me, the good news is that we have a Lord that loves us all and that has conquered already, and that we all have a choice as to how we think, how we love, how we respond, and how we forgive. And there's no question that these are challenging times. But what I've learned is where there is no challenge, there is no change. And we have to all accept the challenge and all help to bring about positive change and growth. And as I talked to our staff this morning, the soil is fertile. And the seeds of this soil of change, if you will, are love, our respect, our attitude, kindness, humility, service, faith, and forgiveness. And you know what? Forgiveness is always the hardest. Forgiveness was something that I struggled with in my life, in my teens and early 20s, and eventually, I was the one being hurt because that forgiveness just eats at you. And if you take the word faith, and I can thank Todd Bates for this, if you take that word faith and you make it into an acronym, forgiveness always is the hardest, and it is. But love, respect, attitude, kindness, humility, service, faith, and forgiveness, these are the choices that we control. We do control those choices. And there are three truths right now for sure, for this time. And this is another thing Coach Bates and I were talking about, and I agree. Love doesn't see color. Hate does. Hatred has no heart. Love does. And as football teams and just people in general, we have to stick together. We got to respect each other, and we got to accept the differences that do exist. And for me, my focus is my team and the staff. And my prayer is that God will continue, as he has for the last 11 and a half years, that God will continue to use our program at Clemson to develop, to shape, to equip, to educate, and to raise up great men through the game of football that are going to go on into this world as great leaders and create wonderful change and bring love and wisdom to our country. That's my passion. That's our why. And that's my focus. And one of the things that I always tell our team, and they've heard me say many, many times in regards to football, is that there is no hope for a better yesterday. There's no hope for a better last week. There's no hope for a better last year. It just isn't. But one of the verses in the Bible that I've always hung on to for a long, long time, that has always comforted me when I needed it, and that's Jeremiah 29:11. And that verse says, "For I know the plans I have for you. They're plans for good, not disaster. Plans to give you a future and a hope. For I know the plans I have for you. Plans for good, not disaster. Plans to give you a future and a hope." And while there may be no hope for a better yesterday, there is hope in the future. And when there's hope in the future, there's power in the present. And that power, for me, comes from my faith, comes from the strength and the peace of knowing that Jesus is on the throne. And that's really all I can say. And that's how I can, that's the only thing I can offer is my perspective of faith and hope that can be an encouragement. Our team is hurting, communicated with them last week, and our staff is amazing. But we absolutely must come together. And so I wanted to just share that and take a minute to let you hear that from me and make sure I articulated it the right way. But the second thing that I needed to discuss, and I was actually going to speak with you guys. Originally, I was planning on later in the week, probably Thursday, but with all the other things, I felt like we needed to move it up. But the second thing we needed to address with everyone is Justyn Ross. And as y'all all know, Justyn missed the last few days, a couple of days of spring back in March. And then we had the virus and all that. And so we weren't back together. So it took a little bit of time to kind of get all the information that we needed and so forth to be able to properly assess his situation and to get the best plan of attack for what he's dealing with. And, I try to always be transparent with y'all. And, obviously we haven't had opportunity to meet in person or things like that. But really just, again, wanted to kind of just make you aware of Justyn's situation, what he's dealing with, and kind of the plan moving forward from here. But Justyn, he's going to have surgery this Friday, and basically, the best I can, in layman's terms, can say is when he caught a pass. It was really just kind of nothing crazy. Just caught a slant and got hit and kind of went down. And he was very slow to get up, and he kind of had stinger symptoms, a little bit of numbness type of thing, and which is not uncommon in the game of football. If you played football, those things can happen from time to time. But he was a little slow to get up, and our doctors were great. He didn't practice the rest of the day, but he was fine. He was fine on the sideline. And to be honest with you, I didn't really think much about it. Saw him that night at dinner. It was great. And the next morning, Danny Poole came in my office with Dr. Martin and said, you know, you're not going to believe this. And I'm like, what? I didn't know what was going on. It's the last thing on my mind. But bottom line is, anytime we have a player that has any type of stinger type of situation or anything involving the neck, they do an x-ray. And as it turns out, when they did the x-ray, Dr. Martin was pretty shocked at what he saw when he looked at his back and his spine. And the reason he was shocked is because Justyn has what they call is a congenital fusion, which is something he was born with. And so, you know, what I can say to you is, the crazy thing is, and the frustrating thing for Justyn is great. I mean, he can run, jump, do backflips, dunk a basketball. I mean, he looks like he's always looked. And obviously he's never had any issues with this because he was born with it. He's had it his whole life and nobody even knew about it. Eventually, the further he went in his football career, it probably would have shown up, but nobody to this point knew that he had that. And he's had no issues in his whole career. But because of situation, they just, you know, when they did these x-ray, it showed up. And so he's a very concerned, and he has a little bit of a bulging disc as well. And that is an issue. And so there's been many people play football with a surgical fusion. That's happens a lot of times. But we don't know of one that's had a surgical and a congenital. And so anyway, it just really created some questions for our medical people because the number one thing is that he's safe to be able to play football. And so we've spent a lot of time. Our doctors have done a wonderful job in trying to get the best information and the best path forward. And so Dr. Okonkwo, who is one of the top neurosurgeons really in the country, and he is the Steelers, the neurosurgeon for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and is one of the main NFL guys. But anyway, that's who has stepped up and really been great in this process for Justyn. He's already met with him once, and he'll fly up there on Thursday, have surgery Friday, and then we'll go from there. But the biggest thing is Justyn will not. He will be out this year. He will not be able to play this fall. And you know, if he was a football coach or an accountant or whatever, I mean, he'd be back at it in probably 6 weeks. But he's a football player. And so there's obviously a lot more, you know, involved here when it comes for him to be able to play the game that he loves. The frustrating thing for Justyn is he feels perfectly fine, but the doctors know that he is at risk. But Dr. Okonkwo is awesome, and he's been very positive with Justyn. He's been very hopeful. And is, you know, got a good plan ahead. So there's no guarantees with anything. Certainly very hopeful that this surgery will go well and it will take him out of, you know, harm's way as far as, you know, risk of paralysis or anything like that. And then you know, he can hopefully by January, he's doing great, and he's got a decision to make. Does he try to go take his shot at the combine and perform well there and have a chance to keep playing at the next level, or does he want to come back and play at Clemson another year and go from there? Similar to Mike Williams and the decision that Mike Williams had to make. When Mike Williams had his injury, you know, there was a lot that we didn't know. There was a lot of unknowns. Different injury, but similar circumstances. Had to miss a year. He ended up coming back, and, you know, the rest is history for him. And hopefully that'll be the case for Justyn as far as a great recovery. that's the situation with him. I can't give you any more, details than that. I was shocked just like everyone else, especially when you're looking at him run and do everything and he feels great. But it's a very unique situation. And again, Dr. Okonkwo is positive, and he thinks that there is a good path for Justyn to play football again, and he's excited about the challenge ahead of seeing that happen. But there are no guarantees. But just wanted to kind of let you all know exactly where he is, the surgery that he will be having on Friday. And Justyn's in a really good place. The first, at the very beginning, it was a hard thing for all of us to kind of get our arms around. But his mom is amazing. He's got a wonderful support system around him. Justyn is in a great place mentally. He's ready to do what he needs to do to give himself the best chance to play football again. So I just ask that y'all keep him in your prayers as well this week as he takes this next step on Friday and has this surgery. So that was something again that I knew I wanted to speak with the media about this week, but felt like we should just go ahead and talk about it today because I felt like we needed to address this other issue that we've all been dealing with as a country and just as people as well. So with that, I'll take a few questions here and Ross, you want to take it from there?
I will. We're going to lead off with Pete Iacobelli from the Associated Press. Pete, when you're ready, take it away.
Yeah. Hey, Dabo, Ross, and everybody. Thanks for doing this. Dabo, how difficult do you think it'll be for these guys getting back together next week, both with the news of Justyn and with what's going on in the country?
Well, I think it's going to be the best thing for all of us is to be together. To be honest with you, I don't think that's going to be difficult at all. I think that's going to be a powerful help for all of us. And they all know about Justyn. They've all known for a little while. I addressed it with the team a couple of team meetings ago, and so they all know exactly what's going on there, and the team has been very good, and it's we've been together. The meetings have been awesome. Our coaching staff has done an amazing job. We're further along mentally right now than we've ever been, just because of our ability to be able to have all these football meetings that we would have not been able to have. So I think all of it, that part has been good. But as far as, everything going on in the world and just everybody being at home, these guys are way past ready to see their brothers and to get back together and hopefully continue to move forward and getting back to doing what we love to do.
All right, I'm going to go next to Matt Connolly from the State. Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Dabo, why do you feel like it's important? You mentioned wanting to come out and say something instead of just releasing a statement. Why do you feel like it's important to have your voice heard? And have you heard from players that have said that they would like for you to say something?
Well, I've communicated with my players, and I've had good conversations with several of those guys, and our team is great. But no, I didn't. There was nobody on the team that wanted me to say. They all know I'm going to say something. That's just. It's just sometimes it's better to listen than speak, and it's not about trying to speak first or something like that. I spent the last week listening, and had a great staff meeting this morning, and we have just wonderful people on our staff, and I know that. And moments like this, it just reaffirms that. But again, it wasn't a matter of if I was going to say something. It was a matter of when. I mean, I'm not on social media, and I'm not going to join Twitter just to make a statement on something. And yeah, I can just release a statement anytime. And but I really wanted to speak, and I wanted you guys to hear my voice, and I wanted to give y'all an opportunity to ask questions. So again, I've tried to always be honest and open and transparent and all those type of things. And I know when I speak, I get criticized, and when I don't speak, I get criticized. So I don't really worry about that. It's just more, making sure that I have my thoughts in a way that I think can be constructive.
All right, we're going to go next to Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News. Scott, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Pete stole my thunder, so you can go on. I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott. We'll go to Grace Rayner, The Athletic. Grace, when you're ready, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Swinney, thank you for doing this. You mentioned your players. What kind of things are you and your staff going to be doing, especially as these players get back onto campus, to make sure they feel supported and that you're having those types of conversations?
Well, we try to do the same things that we always have done, and that is to love them and to hopefully demonstrate all those things that I talked about earlier on a daily basis. And that's one of the things that has helped us sustain success for a long time around here is communication. And so we try to be very open. We try to communicate in a very transparent way. We always have, and we'll continue to do that. But we've got a wonderful staff, and support these guys any way that we possibly can. And they know that we're available to them, and we're gonna, like I said, we have a great opportunity here to truly, as I said, the soil is fertile, and to hopefully sow some great seeds and all grow from this.
All right, we're going to go next to Josh Needleman of the Post and Courier. Josh, when you're ready, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Dabo. I know you've said on the record before that you respect the right to protest. I want to ask you about something you said back in 2016. You said that in regards to people who, quote, thought the world was falling apart, that some of those people need to, quote, move to another country. Just wondering if you stand by that or if your thinking has changed in any way about that.
Oh, well, that was probably a harsh statement for sure. But again, we do. I still believe in the good of people, and I just as a person of faith, I believe in that, and I do believe that we have lots of problems for sure, but I still think we have the best country in the world, and it's up to us to make it better. It's up to us to create the positive change that we want to see in this world, and we all have to do our part. And for me, my part is again, as I said, trying to use the game of football and to shape and develop and educate and raise up great men. And I think we've been able to do that in a great way over the last decade. We have a lot of great men that have come through this program, and they're going to continue to come through this program, that are creating wonderful change. And, I'm a football coach, and that's what I love to do. That's my passion. And the way I can help create that change is to try to do my job in a way that glorifies God and that, helps create and cultivate all those things that we all want to see in each other, such as love and respect and attitude and kindness and humility and forgiveness and all those things. But I'm certainly I'm a long way from a perfect person. But that's we just try to stay focused on those things.
All right, we're going to go next to Larry Williams from Tiger Illustrated. Larry, go ahead when you're ready. Larry, are you with us?
Sorry about that. I was muted. Apologies.
Mhm.
Dabo, with the players returning back to campus, beyond what they're being told, I guess, with the regulations handed down from above you, are you instructing them on what to do or not to do during their time back, like away from team-related activities and such?
I mean, same things that we've been, instructing them to do the whole time. And to be honest with you, a great majority of our team's been back for quite a while. Because most of our guys live off campus, and so we've had lots of guys back for a good while. As they have a right to be back. They have their own places and things like that, and that's their choice. But the on-campus guys are able to come back, and we have temporary housing for them because our on-campus housing is not available yet. But it's the same things that we've been talking about, and that is, to be smart and to heed the advice that's out there to stay clean and stay, practice the social distancing and stay away from big groups and all those type of things. So that's not any different. But obviously, June 1, things are a little different than they were April 1, and so that's why our guys are allowed to come back and keep moving forward. But even though things are opening back up and they can go to restaurants and do different things, still just be smart. And we've got a great plan in place all across this campus that everyone feels good about, and it's a very organized and phased in process that we're going to go through over the next month and a half here, and hopefully continuing to get back to a little more of a normal situation later in the summer in August.
All right, I'm going to go next to Anna Hickey from Clemson 24/7. Anna, when you're ready, go ahead.
Hey, Dabo, thank you again for doing this. Just
Yep.
Another injury question. Mario Goodrich, I know he had a quick surgery. I don't think it was anything major, but just kind of an update on him and when you expect him to get back.
Yeah, he's doing good, and it was actually he had a little little fragment or something they had to kind of scope out of there, and they were going to do it here after we got back if he wasn't where they wanted him to be, but obviously we didn't get back. So he's doing well. He's doing really well, and he's actually staying out there this week. I think he's the only one that's not back. As far as our scholarship guys, Mario will be back. I think he's going to get back here on the 8th because he had one more week of finishing up his therapy out there, and then he'll be here after that. But he's doing good. He's doing really good. Don't expect any issues.
We'll go next to David Hood from TigerNet. David, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, Coach. Good to talk to you again. First question would be a real quick one. All of the staff, all of the players, have any of them, had any contact with the corona? Is everybody healthy? Anybody recovered from it?
Everybody's good. Everybody's been in great. It's a constant weekly contact with Danny Poole and our medical team and the coaches and all that. And, we've all been good. And but we'll continue to daily monitor that, especially as we get back together and everybody's, everybody's going to be tested and all that stuff. So if we find out something later on, and again, those are all private medical things. It's not something I can't come out and, I have no idea. We don't know, everybody's been great. That's all I can tell you. We're all in great health and all that, but who's to say, when we do all the testing, they may come out and say, oh, this guy's had it and this guy's had it, but it's not like we're going to do a report card every week Those are medical type of privacy things. But all I can tell you is everybody's great. We've had no issues. Everyone's healthy as far as we know, but we will do the testing on starting this next week. Our guys are back and have to be here for a week of quarantine and being back in the area, and then they'll come in and start Monday with the testing. And we got the daily process of temperature checks and all the precautions that you can think of are in place. So that's what we'll continue to do, and hopefully continue to have the good fortune that we've had and not have any issues.
All right, we're going to attempt to go next to Will Vanderboord of the Clemson Insider. Will, go ahead whenever you're ready.
I thought David had another question, but maybe you didn't.
Let me try to circle back with David real quick. David, do you have us?
Yeah. You still hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the second part would be just, with Justyn, obviously Cornell Powell, you've still got Amari Rogers, but he was going to be counted on this year. How have the young wide receivers and Tyler Grisham kind of reacted to the news? And then for you, who are going to be, a couple of the guys that have to be next man up? And this is why you recruit like you do.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, injuries are are a part of football, a part of the game of football for sure. And every player understands that. But it's something that, like I said, that we have been dealing with for a while, since early April, as far as kind of the realization that, hey, he's probably going to be out for the fall. And but we got a great group, obviously Frank Ladson and Ngata and Brandon Spector were three guys from last year's class that we're really, really excited about. And Joseph and Frank and got some great experience. Brandon, we were able to redshirt. It was huge getting EJ Williams in, and EJ got 9 days of practice this spring. But Grisham, can y'all hear me? Hello?
We can hear you. We're just getting some odd feedback.
Okay. But having EJ in the spring was great for him. He's actually very similar to Ross, to be honest with you. Maybe a little faster, but very similar type of player and talent. So we're really fortunate. We got some good guys, and then obviously Amari and Cornell. It brings some great veteran leadership there, and we'll be counted on that way. And then Will Swinney and Will Brown, two guys that we're having good springs for us. That'll be counted on from a depth standpoint as well. But we got a good group, and we're excited about the group, and then we got one more coming in, so it'll put a lot on Grisham's plate and my plate to make sure those guys are ready. And we got a Joe, showing up here this summer, who's another really great young talent. But with all of this, a positive of this COVID situation is, like I said earlier, we've been able to have so much time from a football meeting standpoint that has been incredibly valuable for us. I mean, to be able to have the opportunity to go through our installation multiple times, to do individual stuff, to really bring, because the biggest thing is with young players is just knowledge. And, to be able to have a Joe sitting, and listening in those meetings, to have EJ, getting, bridging that gap a little bit because he's the furthest away mentally and from those other guys. That's been very helpful. And then you look at a guy like Cornell Powell, who he was the most consistent guy this spring. It was awesome to see that. And, so hopefully he's gonna rise up and take advantage of this opportunity in a big way. But, we got a great group, and that's what you have to do. You gotta get the next guy ready. And we're fortunate that we got multiple guys that can play multiple positions. And, we'll be excited about the opportunity. They all hurt for Justyn, Justin's been great. He'll be, I expect him to be, one of the best coaches that we have this fall in helping, get these guys ready, because it's important to him, and he loves these guys.
All right, we're going to attempt to go back to Will Vandervoort here. Will, do you have us now?
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Hey, I just wanted to ask about Nolan and where he's at as far as his shoulder, and then also Niles, and is he ready to go also when you guys get back to work?
Hey, I'm sorry. Say that one more time, Will.
Asked about Nolan and his shoulder, how he's doing, and then also about Niles.
Yes, Nolan is doing great, and Niles has been really working hard and progressing as well. Been getting updates, from Danny and our coaches. So everybody's progressing and doing really good. And Nolan in particular, just because I was in a conversation. I mean, he's pretty much doing everything full speed. So I think he's in a really good spot.
All right, we've got time for about one more. We're going to try to squeeze in Mitch Brown from Fox Columbia. Mitch, go ahead.
All right, thanks for the call, Coach. Hope you can hear me, hearing some feedback. My question was just, you talked about the steps about how you're going to love your team more and work with your team and talk with them. Obviously, the team is your first priority, and the players on the team and the coaches on the staff. But what do you plan to do as a program to kind of help in your community with these same steps? Because obviously surrounding communities in South Carolina sometimes go through these same issues of inequality and social injustice. So just how to help the community in this instance, and not just from a team standpoint.
Well, the best thing, is to use our platform in a positive way and to be an example. I mean, we are a football team, and, the best thing that we can do is for people to be able to point to our team and see, hopefully what the world wants, and to see people who love and respect each other and sometimes disagree, but aren't disagreeable. And that's really the biggest thing is to exemplify and demonstrate, with the platform that we have, love and positivity and respect and service, to serve others, kindness, humility, all those things. That's the best thing that we can do for our community, is to be good examples of all those things.
All right, that brings us to about 4:15, so we're going to need to wrap this up. We really, really appreciate everybody joining us, especially being on about 3 hours short notice. Thank you all, and hopefully we will be in touch with you all in person a little bit sooner down the line. Y'all take care.
All right, I appreciate everybody, and y'all stay well.